D&Ders, RPGers, game masters, and such. This is a very, very short video, just to kind of like, hey, you might want to try this kind of thing, all right? My wife and I have gamed, I think, over this little winter, happy holiday, Merry Christmas break we have, probably about 5 times. And last night we said, let's do something different. And I said, what would you like to do? And I said, I got an idea. Why don't you go ahead and why don't you run a module? And of course, she immediately kind of said, oh, I can't do that. And I said, yeah, you can. So I like white box. I was going to use white box rules, and I went downstairs and I pulled out Basic Fantasy Adventure Anthology 1. Okay, this is awesome. If you ever get a chance to do this, you could do this with a kid. You could do this with somebody that normally doesn't dungeon master. There's less of an obligation with these things because they're so small. And I just let her flip through the book, find something you like. It's so easy. It boxes in. I explained it. I said, convert everything that says HD to 6. We're using D20 and a 6-sided dice for everything, right? So she found the adventure she wanted, The Ruin of Darkford Castle. And then she goes, well, why would anybody want to go into this? I said, well, you just make it up. I just start it, and I'll help you. So this was cool because as a dungeon master, like some people don't understand the amount of work it is behind the table, behind the screen to do certain things. And this gave her an illumination of how much stuff you're putting into it. And she actually really enjoyed it, which was sort of fun because it was one-on-one. There was no, usually I do a bunch of digital, I show maps, all this stuff. I said, no, none of that. This is old school. You just read the book, we're doing it. Do I have to draw these things out? You don't have to draw anything out. Just let's do it all in the head. How would you say and do it in the mind. It's funny, so it was so much fun. She kind of ran through this entire adventure. I made 4 characters, okay? And how I made my characters, I used, for all practical reasons, my version of the White Star sign-in sheets, right? And when I say it's the note cards, using the note cards, the white box note cards, I can able to flip them and move them around on the table. And it makes it really kind of easy. So this is what my note cards look like. So I have this thing. It's very minimalistic. I rolled 3D6, right? And I used the same stats for all my characters, which is really kind of nice, right? And I have these on note cards, so I can lay them and flip them on the table as I'm playing. It makes it sort of easy. And of course, these were the stats I was going to use for doing everything I was going to do. And I really enjoyed the fact that I got to play for once. As a game master, and if you're watching this, I bet 95% of you guys are just DMing all the time. And that's kind of the audience that we're doing this. And you're probably doing a bunch of OSRs, not just white box, not basic fan, just anything OSR. A lot of old school essentials and stuff like this. Sometimes you just want someone else to run it to see what it's like. This is a fun way to do it, okay? Minimalistic, I had all my characters made within 20 minutes. Backstories, names, the whole 9 yards. All the stats rolled out, everything written down on these cards. Super easy. And then she walks through the adventure. Now, I'm going to actually poo-poo on the adventure for a little bit, and I'll explain to you why. The reason for going in is not even put out here. It's like you're being hired or whatever. So she had to come up with all that stuff, which may be hard for most people, but I'm encouraging as the dungeon master, you know how to do that. And then we go into the thing. There's one encounter with some bats, right? So finally get up here. There's a darkling and some bats. And I had a magic user. She had a spell. Slept these things right here. The bats all go down, and there was a darkling. And this one went down too. We bagged it because it's worth money because we did a little background check over here. And as we come up to the top level, okay, we find the sword, okay? The sword's a +1. And we're waiting for things to get dark, and all of a sudden something starts coming out of the stone, and my fighter, who's actually a swashbuckler, I pulled on a James Spawn's omnibus, turns around and gets scared. The fear spell works on him. He runs off, right? So everybody ran too, because obviously if your biggest, baddest guy is running, we're all running. We ran outside, went back to the town, and found out the history of it. The problem with this module is this is a ghost, and it's going to attack. Now, the weird thing about this is that there's no stats for the ghost. My poor wife is sitting there trying to, how do I play this? And she had to get the basic fantasy book out and then look up the stats for a ghost. And then she rolls 10 6-sided dice because I said, you got to change it for white box. So a hit dice is 6, a 6-sided dice, not 8-sided dice. She will say, I said, what in the heck? I said, we're first level characters. She goes, well, it's a ghost. It says 10 hit dice. And I'm like, what? So this was totally a total party kill. You end up with one person that has the ability to affect it, Because a magic user first level, the most they have is maybe sleep. They don't even have magic missile, right? And then on top of it, you get one magic item on a fighter that can actually touch this thing, and it's totally overpowered. So if you're wanting to do these things, make sure, I don't know how to tell you this ahead of time, they don't pick something where it's going to be a total party kill, because they won't know how to deal with that or how to tone this thing back. We had a big discussion after it was over, and she says, well, I told her we ran back to town. She goes, wow, that was actually really smart. And then we did some hunting with information, and we found out that it was a ghost. And we can't even possibly fight a ghost because we're so low in level. But it was sort of fun. She enjoyed it. We spent 2.5 hours playing it, but there was actually no battle at all because that's what she really wanted to run when we didn't get to do it. So the rest of the things look awesome. She wanted the smallest one. Look how small it is. It's really little. It's this, and then you get some people that you can meet on the highway. We didn't run into them, and you end up with one map that looks like this on the inside of the tower. These are the stairs that go up. So it's a minimalist module, but the problem is that it has such a huge boss monster encounter at the end. There's like no way that anybody could possibly win this. And the thing is, they tell you have to pray at this altar for a whole day and a whole night for the ghost eternal soul, a desecrated altar in the middle spot. Okay, and so, but the thing is, it gets to attack you. Praying adventure as strongly as 3 successful attacks would. Ghosts won't attack anybody praying at the altar, but its mere presence is sufficient to harm the praying adventure as strong as what? So 3 successive attacks on first level characters, they're dead. This is a total party kill. So look through the things. Make sure you kind of let the your GM in making, or whatever you want to call this person that's just trying to do this, that, you know, sometimes you're going to get things that just aren't going to work. All right? With that, have a great day. Bye.